Welcome to my 10-year rebuild with Burnley in Football Manager. Today we're going to be doing it the hard way. Small budgets, big dreams, all using a Scott Parker inspired tactic. We will push for multiple Premier League titles while building a squad that blends future stars with veteran experience. Today we're not just chasing silverware, we're building a legacy. A little fun fact for you, Burnley were founding members of the Football League in 1888. It's time to bring back the glory days to Turf Moor. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, especially if you're a Burnley fan. Let's get into it. So then, this is going to be Burnley inside of the game, and yes, we have done one back in the day with Burnley, but this is a 10-year rebuild using their own manager's tactics, so it's going to be a special one. Now, as a club, they've already got a decent reputation. They've got decent training facilities, good youth facilities, and not half bad youth recruitment either. But what they are missing is a couple of big Premier League trophies, which is where I am going to step in. Now, as a club, the owners absolutely love it. They're enjoying life at the club. It is going to be challenging in terms of finances, because if I remember correctly, my last Burnley rebuild, I was quite annoyed at the money we got to spend, but we will try our best and see what we can do inside of 10 years. Now, as a club, they have got history. They actually already have 2 Premier Leagues, but I want to add another 2. I want to get them to 4 at minimum, preferably 6, 5, something like that. They have an FA Cup win, 4 Sky Bet Championships, 1 Sky Bet League 1, 2 English Community Shields, 1 Sky Bet League 2, and 1 Anglo-Scottish Cup. So they have won a fair bit of trophies, but of course, at the moment they are on a decline. If this was actually accurate, the arrow would be up again, because they are, of course, gaining promotion. So big shout out to them, by the way. The aim today is to automatically go up in the championship. I feel like we have got the players to do that. We've got the talent to do that. So I will be surprised if we don't. Don't get me wrong, if we do have to go through the playoffs, I also won't mind. When I say gain promotion, if we finish first, second, or just get promoted somehow, that is all going to be the same job for me. Ideally, you want to win, but I will take any form of promotion I can get my hands on. In terms of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I'm honestly not expecting too much in the first year, because I'm putting all of the eggs in one basket, that basket being the Sky Bet Championship. So we are really going to push for that and try and make something happen. Now, looking at the actual team, we have got some pretty decent players, and one of my favourite players in this game is going to be Edwards. Now, he is a player who has played for some pretty big clubs, including Sporting, Tottenham, you know, a couple of pretty big clubs. He's a good Premier League player, and he is on loan with us, so we can really get the most out of him in the Championship. There is not a single doubt in my mind he will probably be either the top assister or top goal scorer in the league. He is so much better than a Championship level in this game. He is rapid, got great dribbling, got great finishing, decent composure. He's English, which is great for registration, and also he's semi-young. He's 24 years of age, so we have got a lot of positives regarding Edwards. He is going to be a vital player for this team, and I mean, looking at the grand scheme of things, we've got some pretty big players in here. I mean, James Trafford is one of the most sought-after goalkeepers in the Premier League at the moment. I mean, a lot of Premier League teams will want this guy. He is such a good goalkeeper, and we've got him given to us. So I'm going to try and have him for the entire 10 years, unless I feel like there is a big issue going on. Looking across the back line, let's not ignore the likes of Maximin. He's a very, very strong centre-back. Is he going to win me a Premier League? That I don't know. We are going to have to find out. But for the Championship, this guy is an absolute machine, and you can say the same with Fleming. I picked him up on a previous rebuild as well. He actually looks pretty average without any disrespect. The guy cooked for me. I believe it was Ajax I signed him, and he was genuinely a really, really good player, so I'm excited to even use him. You then look at other people that have been around a bit longer. Obviously, Brownhill's been here for quite some time. We've got Saramento on loan, a very, very good player. Very hot or cold in this game, but of course, he will be given a chance because we need the legs in the team. And Anthony as well, another player, former Bournemouth man, Weymouth and Arsenal. Again, incredibly young, tons of pace, good dribbling. We have got a lot of tricky wingers, so that is why we are going to play this Scott Parker system, because we've got the players to do so, and it makes complete sense. Now, what I will say is, we are going to go through a phase at this club of really understanding what players are Premier League and what players aren't. So we might get attached to a lot of these players and think they're incredible after seeing what they do in a season in the Championship. Then we get to the Premier League and they can't do it. Simple as that. Very similar to the Plymouth rebuild. It could go very much like that. But again, at any part of this video, you want to get this tactic, all of my tactics, rebuild files, and all of these perks, you can come and check out the Patreon, where it's 20% off this month, and you have still just got enough time to enter the £900 giveaway. So make sure you come on over and get involved. But the aim for this season is promotion. I'm not going to sit here and play the underdog role. We are going to get promoted. Bit of confidence coming in from the gaffer, and we're going to get this done. Q Season 1. Well, we did go to the playoff final, so not as comfortable as what I thought, against Sheffield, and I tell you what, we are going to get off to a pretty decent start. A great bit of drive there from Foster to go 1-0 up inside of 35 minutes, but sadly for us, Sheffield are not just going to sit there. A great ball back into the box and a great equaliser to make it 1-1 inside of 78 minutes, and we are going to go to extra time, where the game really did come alive as Edwards goes down the right hand side and just proves why he is going to be such a danger to the opposition, all that being quite the lucky goal in the end. A great way to go 2-1 up through Coolan there, and we have got time to go again. Look at this from Brownhill. What a strike on the biggest stage in this Burnley team that they can ever face. What a way to bag a goal like that. A 3-1 advantage, and things are going to get pretty out of control now, with Edwards going down the right, and a great run and a great finish from Foster to lead this game 4-1. That is now 3 goals in extra time, and we are going to somehow find a way to score 4 goals in added time or extra time and win this playoff final 5-1. Premier League, pack your bags. That is right, we beat Sheffield United 5-1 in the playoff final. Now, in terms of the league table, it was incredibly close between us and Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough, fair play, they deserved it, and Luton, they were flying, so fair play to them. So we actually got promoted in the hardest way possible. Leeds, Sheffield, Bristol all miss out on promotion. Preston, Millwall and Portsmouth are going to go down, and we can turn to the man that I said would be up there, Marcus Edwards, 1 goal off being the top goal scorer in the league. James Trafford, the best goalkeeper, no shock right there, and honestly, I was expecting more. I was thinking we were going to get either second or first, but the fact we got through and we just got it done. I mean, in the semi-finals, we did actually play Bristol City, who we do beat 3-1 over the 2 legs, and honestly, if we played Leeds, that might have been a harder game. But we get to the final, obviously incredibly close through 90 minutes. Extra time comes in, we absolutely blitz them. So a very, very good sort of end result at least. As for the cups, not half bad in the Carabao Cup. We get all the way to the semis and only lose by 1 goal. And we would have played Forest in the final. And I'm not being funny, to get this far in the cup, I'm going to say we might have been able to beat Forest as well. So a big achievement there. The FA Cup wasn't the best, but it's not really a worry of mine because we're in the Premier League. Now, money-wise, we've got a budget of 68 million, which is fair game. That is quite a fair bit of money, and we can use this to really, really, really broaden this club, broaden the expectations of the fans by bringing in big names. Now, for Season 1, I say big names for a newly promoted team, not, you know, Mbappe, for example. But looking at this team on paper, there's one key man that I want. That is going to be Edwards, because he has got 35 goal contributions, and we've got about 68 million, and they will sell him for 8.4, so he will 100% be a Burnley player, unless he refuses to. Fleming, I think I will let go on this one occasion. Saramento, I will consider it for the right price, but nowhere near 30 million in my opinion. And the likes of Anthony, I will see, because he's going to be quite cheap, so maybe we get him for the legs in the team. But, you know, we're not going to be any, you know, we're not really going to be too het up if he does go. As long as we can get Edwards, we are going to be fine. As for the rest of the players, this is where it's going to be a test, right? Because they're now getting put in the Premier League, and this is the biggest stage of them all. Now, over the next few years, I do feel like this tactic is going to need the occasional tweak, because we are going to get our own signings in. Of course, this is a Scott Parker tactic for the current Burnley team. We are not going to have Roberts at right back for the entire rebuild. So if we get a good attacking right back, I might actually have him on attack as a wing back. So things are going to change quite big, I will be honest with you, and this is now about taking a gamble on a lot of these players, because even Foster, 18 goals, is he going to do anything like that in the Premier League? I don't think so, I'll be honest. So This is going to be tough this first season. I do think with the right signings we can avoid relegation, and that of course is always the aim for the first season, but let's be a bit optimistic and we'll go for a top 14 finish. And so signing one is going to be Tyrick Mitchell, coming in from Crystal Palace, a really well established left back, obviously over in England. Again, English, great for the registration. He comes in for 39 million, plays a ton of games, also drops a lot, well not a lot of assists for a newly promoted team, because I'm being quite humble with what I'm expecting from this team. Now, I will say he's got a lot of down arrows at the moment, which does tell me maybe he's a little bit out of form, but overall, he was a magnificent improvement on our current left back, and honestly, it was nothing against the left back we had, but when you go to the Premier League, you need quality. And I mean big quality. So I'm going to pick up Tommy Doyle, a player for the future, 23 years of age, and again, can become a good Premier League player. Now, he has played most of his career in England, so he knows what he's doing. He's dropped a pretty decent first season, considering he's coming into a team that are newly promoted. He's got a lot to do, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. We spent 37, the value, now about 76, so he is clearly improving somewhat. The passing is really what we've got him in for, to really play make in those deep areas. And to be honest, I think he ticks the box off really, really well. And lastly, we got our man. It is going to be Edwards for 8.2 million. How well did he do in the Premier League? That's not bad, is it? I mean, it's not as good as the Championship, but also he played less games. 14 goals, 6 assists, and a 6.92 average rating. That is some season. That's a very, very strong season for a player that wasn't a gamble, really. I know he can do it in this game, so this was probably the more secure signing. Now, we had no outgoings, nothing at all. I am going through the season by season, looking at contracts that are coming up, releasing some players, transfer listing players, but at the moment, we're just sort of trying to build the squad, so we've not really got it out to sell anybody just yet. And I'm hoping, with these 3 additions, we can at least stay in the Premier League. But you know what I said? A top 14 finish. Is it going to happen? 3, 2, 1, bang. What? Okay, literally 14th. Okay, that is some cheesy stuff going on. 14th place. Now I'm going to take that because although we're not that many points actually above the drop, we're 6 points above the drop, which is pretty close, as we are going to see West Ham, Luton and Middlesbrough go down. Everton very low down as well, with Nottingham Forest and Southampton. Liverpool are going to be Premier League champions, and we are going to have no player stats to talk through, apart from Connor Roberts, who picked up the most yellow cards, which we probably shouldn't flaunt too much. But for a first season in the Premier League, it's okay. What isn't okay is when you look at 10 wins, then 10 draws and 18 losses. So we actually failed to win 28 games out of 38, which is quite bad when you say that. And there are some batterings in there, you know, 3-0, 5-0, 3-0, 4-1. You know, there's some awful games in there. The games we won are all against teams that, you know, I'm not saying we should beat, because you've got Arsenal in there, Chelsea, some strong teams in there, but yeah, nothing too magical really in the Premier League. And as for the Cups, as you saw, pretty disappointing, but we can't be critical on ourselves. This is our first year in the Premier League. I am hoping, because we stayed up, we're going to have around about 60 million. That is what I'm hoping for. So cue the budget. 51 million isn't bad, a little bit less than what I thought, but 51 million we can go and work with. So where we need to improve is probably the back line, because we're the 3rd worst, but the 10th worst at conceding. So the back line is going to be the area to improve. Now, I did lock in Doyle over the season. That is why he got a lot of game time. The actual overall team looks like this. So the goals have really dried up, apart from Edwards. The bench is very, very dry as well. Apart from Edwards, we do not have a single player with 10 goals in any of the competitions. So it is quite alarming, because this is a real humbling of what players are actually Premier League quality. And I'm going to say it right now, don't shoot the messenger. I think there's 2 players in this team that are Premier League quality, and that's Trafford, and it is going to be Edwards. I'm going to be honest with you. And Mitchell, let's not disrespect him, and Mitchell. I'm not even convinced on Doyle. I'm going to be honest with you. I am going to give him some more seasons because he is still up and coming. But apart from Edwards, Mitchell and Trafford, I'm not sure we've got Premier League quality players. Now, that's not an issue because we're, in our first season in the Premier League? That is to be expected. But what I'm trying to make it very clear and saying is we have got a lot of areas to improve. So let's cue the transfer window. But then just to strengthen the right back role a little bit more, we are going to welcome in Calvin Ramsey. Now, he is going to be a big player for me because he is by far now our best right back. He is rapid at going forward. He has got the work rate and the stamina to a certain degree. He can put a ball in the box. And this is where maybe we change that tactic from an inverted fullback option to an attacking wingback and really send him down the right-hand side, because this guy almost gets wasted when you don't do that with him. Now, we did spend a fair bit, £31 million. He returns with 6 goal contributions, which I know you shouldn't really look at if you're talking about a wing-back, but it's the modern wing-back. Look at Trent. They get judged off attacking just as much as defensive work now. And for 28 million, we are going to welcome in a very good young talent in the Premier League, English talent, Archie Gray. Now, he's going to be perfect alongside of Doyle. We are going to lock both of them in and really see how far we can get with them. Now, this is going to be done over the next few seasons. If they don't deliver, we will get more quality in. But I want to try and get as many English young talented players in and really build them up, because it's great for registration. It's also a bit of pride in the Premier League. And I'm hoping this man can deliver, because he cost me a total of 28 million. Now, he stepped in, done decent, a good average rating, considering it is now in a relegation team. So I do believe him and Doyle can really work well together, but are we going to improve on 14th? Because we haven't lost anyone apart from Joe Bevan, who goes to Queen of the South. What league is that in? In the Scottish League. Okay, it's a very unique name. But yeah, not really a loss, to be honest. But 2 massive gains. Sadly, we have not improved. We've actually got worse. We are going to be down inside of 15th place. Now, I will say again, incredibly friendly with the relegation drop. I will be fair. Bournemouth, Forest and West Brom go down. So instantly, my head now goes to look at Bournemouth's players and Forest players, because we can get some bargains. Ipswich avoid the relegation, as do Brentford. Manchester United are going to be your Premier League winners. A little check right now. Zidane is going to get the job done. Is that the way we should go in real life? What do you think? Zidane gets the job done. But for us again, we have got one man to talk about in the stats. That's going to be Foster with 16 goals. So he had quite a quiet first season, but he played 33 games and he has pretty much doubled his goals. So he is now really thriving in the Premier League, and he is not a bad player. Like, he's not incredible, but he's also not horrific. He is good enough for us for the moment, and even with him having a stellar season, we've actually performed worse. So incredibly frustrating. Very similar actually in terms of the wins, draws and losses, and it simply isn't good enough. We've now invested a bit of money into this team. I was hoping for a top 10 finish. Clearly, this is going to be a lot harder than what I once thought it was going to be. The other cups weren't pretty either. A 4th round exit coming in here, granted against Man City, but we get blitzed 4-1, and against Tottenham Hotspur, we are actually going to lose 3-0. So we don't put up a fight at all in any of the English Cups. Both of the results were pretty one-sided, and we now go into this next season with it all to do. And money-wise, how are we going to be given anything? 26 million. In fact, around 23 million because of the wage budget. So we have got 23 million to try and improve this team. This is going to be a hard rebuild. Now, when it comes to stats, we're the 7th worst at scoring, the 10th best at conceding. So maybe now we look to actually improve the front line a little bit. Although it's quite bizarre because Edwards and Foster had a great season. The weaknesses now is clearly the AM and the left winger. So maybe that is where we look to try and bring someone in. But for a total of 23 million, you can't buy a bag of crisps in the Premier League for that. This is going to be rough. Right then, signing one is going to be Dylan Levitt coming in from, Dylan Levitt, Dylan Levitt coming in from the Scottish League on the free, so we can't really complain at all. Of course, former Manchester United man, he comes in and plays 12 games. Now, I'll be honest with you, he is a backup player, and on the free, I'm not going to complain. Apart from looking a touch creepy in the photo, he really does look like a great player, and I tell you what, for a backup option, it doesn't cost me a penny, only on 20 grand a week, I'm going to take it. Now, probably someone you never would picture at Burnley, or would you? Harry Maguire is going to join. Now, he is only on 23 grand a week, and he's played 1 season and already is going to be leaving. So he comes in on the free, not a penny spent, not a penny gained. He actually does quite well for us, starts a lot of the games, and when I saw him on the market, I was thinking, nah, not going to touch him, because he's going to want like 200k a week. He wanted 20 grand a week, basically, and he still offers quite a fair bit. The heading, the tackling, the pace isn't great, but you put him next to a quick centre-back, you'll be completely fine. So for a season of experience from a veteran centre-back, that's who I turn to. Can he bump us up the table? And we also got the one role that we were really lacking recently, and that is a striker for the future. Foster is really, really good, but he is 25 and pretty much peaked as well as he's going to become. This guy hasn't peaked, and he's already better. He's got the pace, the finishing, the composure, the Italian flair. That is going to be Nicolo, coming in from Manchester United for 37 million. 19 goals in his first season, 4 assists, a great average rating, and this player isn't just for now, he is also for the future. So if this man continues to perform well, he can be our striker for the next remaining years. So a big investment, but a much needed investment. And because that was the decision to go down, we then decided to go, look, we've spent a bit of money, we are going to pick up 2 free signings, and Maguire and Dillon were the options. Maguire is going to start this FA Cup final against Liverpool, a chance to win silverware, and all starting from Harry Maguire. Ramsey goes through, and the rebound is going to come in, and that is going to be a 1-0 lead inside of 32 minutes. This would be a big motivational boost, but Liverpool are Liverpool. They're one of the best teams on the planet, and they will find a way to punish you, as they do here, with actually Saka going through. A very interesting signing to make it 1-1, but with Burnley, the best team on the land, and we're going to go down the left-hand side with Tyrick Mitchell going all the way, a great little ball inside into Brownhill, little touch into Ramsey, and that's some introduction. A 2-1 win. That is right, we are going to be your FA Cup winners. 2-1 fashion, nice and easy, no messing about. Have we improved in other areas? Yes. In the Premier League, yes. The Carabao Cup, yes. A quarter-final exit, but that is going to be on penalties, and I don't care. I've won an FA Cup. And the Premier League, we are now going to be a top 10 team, but of course, because of the FA Cup win, we have qualified for the Europa League. So we have got European football at Burnley in the year of 2027. And we have got some players to discuss. Marcus Edwards, the most assists. We've got Nicolo, our new striker, 19 goals, outscoring some pretty unique strikers. Where are the big players in here then? We are going to have Kai Havertz, Isaac. Where's the likes of Haaland gone? Where is he? We have had a lot of good performers this season. We've got the top assister, the top goal scorer. No wonder why we improved. And we've also won an FA Cup. And we are going to dedicate a bit of it to the star man, Harry Maguire. He's here for 1 season. We won 1 trophy. That says a lot about his intentions. A great introduction to the club, and he's pushed us all the way into a European competition, a top 10 finish, and now, money-wise, 12 million. If I've got 12 million, I will run this club into the ground with instalments, because that is a joke. I have got you European football, top 10 in the Premier League, and you're giving me 12 million. I hope that's just not updated, because I will not be happy with that. But let's forget about that for 1 second, because we've got to give credit here. Ramsey 4 and 9, really, really strong. Doyle 1 and 5. Archie Gray, pretty decent, 3 and 5. Edwards 11 and 14. Not bad as well from this man, who I've not really given any credit to. Zeke comes in. It's not like incredible, but it's decent, 11 and 2. This man isn't cut out for it, although it is 11 goal contributions. I don't really back this guy to be a Premier League player, so we are going to pick up a new left wing, and this man is proving himself, this man right here, to be a good Premier League quality striker. Now, we look at the bench players. Brownhill 3 and 4, we've got Foster 8 goals, Benson 8 and 6, we didn't even discuss this guy. Again, not one that's got to improve much, but doing his thing as a backup player. 2 and 2 coming in there for Mike. The players on the bench are doing their thing as well, so that's just as important as the first team players. Now, going into the next season, we obviously might need another centre-back because Maguire is already moving on, which is a little bit of a shame, but it is okay. So probably another centre-back to come in and maybe a left wing. That is going to be the aim, but if that is our budget, we ain't getting a single player. So then Harry Maguire is going to be leaving on the free, and it's not nice to see, but do you know what? Fair play to him. He goes to the Saudi League, has another decent season. Now, we've got to talk here, okay, because I did only have £12 million to spend, and I do not take disrespect very well. So we actually went and done an instalment signing and picked up Udozi for 67 million. If you're not going to give me the money, I'll use instalments. And this is exactly what we needed. A good Premier League winger who is rapid, great dribbling, better finishing than what we did have, and he has come in his first season with 20 goal contributions, dropped a 7.24, so those that don't like instalments, I am sorry, but to get European football and a top 10 finish, don't give me 13 million. I need money to play with, to work with, whatever you want to say. And I've resorted to this. And you know what? I'm glad I did, because we have got ourselves another, accidentally, English player. We're getting the collection now. This team is homegrown central. All the players, local, top quality players, you love to see it. We are right in a Europa League final against Man City of all teams, and you do not want to play them, especially when they've got Vinicius Jr., who bags the winner. It's right, we are going to lose the Europa League 1-0 against Man City. They're a team that shouldn't even be in this competition. They should be in the Champions League, but they have got a bit of an interesting situation going on. I believe this is their caretaker manager, Ben Wilkinson. They are currently in the Premier League. They're actually down in 8th place, so no wonder why Pep got sacked. But of course, they managed to beat us. But the team on paper, Savino, Wirtz, Haaland, Vinicius, Scalvini, Rodri at centre-back, Doyle, Lewis, they have got genuinely everybody. So we had no chance of getting the job done right here. And I mean, in terms of other competitions, we are going to go and have a little look right now, because that's already a good start. Until you see that we lose another final against Everton. That is 2 finals with 2 losses. We are bottling everything. And you can make that 3 bottles out of 3 as we lose another final. Granted, it is the Community Shield, but that is now Europa League, Carabao Cup and Community Shield. We all could have won. And we walk away with not 3, not 2, not 1, 0. We walk away with absolutely nothing. That is not ideal. We better have improved in the Premier League. That is really good. I'm happy for that. 4th round in, I mean, Man City have our number, don't they? Apart from in the Premier League. But in terms of the Prem, we are now going to be a top 6 team. So, I mean, that is a big improvement. And we are quite a lot of points off the top 4. But at least we are improving in the Premier League. But to get to 3 finals and not win 1 says a lot about how much more we need to improve as a team. Again, our bagsman up front is cooking. 19 goals. James Trafford, the 3rd most clean sheets, tied with Alisson. Edwards, the most assists. So we can't be annoyed at players because we are doing well in the Premier League, but it's just about putting it all together in these big cup finals. And that leads me to believe we need some experience. We need some cup winners, some people that have won trophies, and that might be where we're going to spend all this money. Oh, that's actually quite good. £78 million. That is a big budget. We can go and operate with that. It's enough to play with. And again, where are we going to spend that money? There's an argument for a lot of places, an argument through this area here, although, you know, 10 and 5 isn't bad, but there is definitely room for improvement. Someone like a Profundi would be quite nice, but probably unrealistic at the moment. We have changed the tactic as well to a wing-back on attack and another wing-back on attack, so we have gone really, really pushing up. The centre-backs do need strengthening, and how long do we keep James Trafford? Because he currently is a Sky Bet Championship player. We're not in a championship. We need a goalkeeper that is ready for now. And although he's had decent seasons after seasons, there probably are better options out there. So I think first priority has to be a centre-back. If we cannot get one, which we should be able to, then you can argue AM, then maybe goalkeeper. Yeah, still loads of improvement, and we are burning through the seasons, and we've not even won 1 Premier League yet, which is completely fine because we're not expected to do it just yet. But if we get to sort of season 8, season 9, and we've not won 1, the pressure goes from here all the way up here. Then an absolute steal to solve the attack and midfield player issue. We are going to welcome in Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, he is one of the best performers in the Premier League this season, in my opinion. I think he is absolutely incredible. He comes in for 25 million, 9 goals, 6 assists, a very, very good return, and just adds that bit of experience in England as well. Now, I'm hoping that can boost me past the top 6 into the top 4. I know that is a big expectation for one player to do, which is why we have got another man to help achieve it. That is going to be Bamba. Now, this guy is always such a good pickup. Now, his value is 174 to 192 million pounds. We paid 81. He plays every game in the Premier League, a mixture of centre-back and DM, which is why I've got this guy, because he has got the pace to play centre-back and also in midfield. He has got the tackling. He is also, the passing's debatable in midfield, but 11 passing, going simple side-to-side ball is completely fine. So he can play in both areas, and once again, we have gone with experience. This is now a man that has played at Fulham in this game for quite some seasons, so I'm willing to take the risk on signing two older players in hope that experience pays off. Let's just go and see how well that done. Well, sadly, we're going to fall severely back in the Europa League. We actually go out in the quarter-finals 2-1 against Aston Villa. So, not a semi-final, not a final. We don't even get past the quarters. The FA Cup is an absolute shambles. It is going to be a fourth-round exit against Bournemouth in 2-1 fashion. And the Carabao Cup, again, not pretty, a 3-2 loss against Sunderland. So a big drop off there as well. But the Premier League, we are going to get top four football. So we are now a Champions League team with 22 wins, 7 draws, and also just 9 losses. Now, what I will say is, this is what experience can bring. Having these more sort of built up players really boosting the team's morale, boosting the players' confidence around them. That's exactly what we have done. James Trafford is doing very, very well, to the point where I actually feel quite bad offering to replace him. Marcus Edwards enjoys a great season, as does our goal scorer with 19 again. Now, although we are in the top 4, I want to aim for more, because we shared the same amount of points as City and Liverpool. We could have easily finished second this season, and nearly did. So we are honestly not that far off really taking the fight to the champions, which on this occasion is Tottenham Hotspur. And I do believe we are seeing a mixture of teams have bad seasons at different stages. I mean, we saw it with City last year. They're still now only in 3rd place. Chelsea in 8th place. I mean, there's potential to cause an upset in this league, is what I'm trying to say. Now, apart from that, the rest of the season was quite mediocre. But getting top 4 with Burnley can never be seen as a mediocre achievement. It's a real big statement. And in terms of the tactics, we can go and see that this man up front, this absolute bagsman, 33 goals this season, 10 and 13 for Udozie on the left-hand side. Edwards, we are going to have 18 and 16, and Gibbs-White, 24 goal contributions in his first season. That is why you spend the money, and he wasn't even that much. Bamba actually goes into DM, favoured by the game, coming in with 4 and 2. Calvin Ramsey, 1 and 10. And if Bamba is going to play there, we need to go and sign another centre-back, because in my head, I would have him down there, and I would put someone like Doyle in midfield. And that's the other topic that we're going to talk about now. Is Archie Gray and Doyle going to get the Premier League done? Well, if we compare the two, Archie Gray is developing better. That is a simple fact. Doyle not developing the best of the best, and I feel that maybe we do improve Doyle with an upgraded DM, or we have Bamba there and sign another centre-back. We've got so many options. One man that is going to get upgraded is going to be this lad, because he is definitely not Premier League quality and sort of has just been in the team for being in the team. So he is going to get changed, and we are going to aim to bring in another centre-back or DM, and then Bamba can play in the centre-back role. But looking at this, we are going to have a total of 39 million, 44 million pounds to spend. It's okay. You're not going to get anyone magnificent, but we can go after some young players at the end of the day. One's for the future. We've still got years to play with, and we're making some pretty big progress. I mean, if you look at the sort of progression of this team, let's pull it up right now. So if we go back to the first time in the actual league, which wouldn't be this year, it would be this year. The first season, 14th. We then fall off a little bit. We go down into 15th place. This is our lowest point. Then up into 10th, then up into 6th, now up into 4th. Next season, if you're going off how things are looking, we're going to be an improved 3rd, 2nd, maybe 1st. Let's go and see. Right then, our first paid outgoing, we have had several players leave, but no real big names. This is a semi-big name because he was with us from day one. It is going to be Connor Roberts going for 2.2 million to Freiburg. Also going to sell Josh Coolen. He is going to go to what league is that? It is going to be the Belgian league for 1.3 million. He was playing less and less football, so I moved him on. And then one is going to be Anthony Gordon, coming in for a total of nothing. A complete free signing. He returns me 8 goal contributions and was clear When I signed the contract with him, he is a backup player. So he is a good player in real life, but the wingers we have done their thing now for season after season. Now, for Gordon, he can play on the left-hand side and through the middle, and even up front. So the guy will get a lot of games because he can cover 4 areas of the pitch. So he is going to get a lot of game time just from being versatile. So he will hold his value. And again, for business, also a great move. A player that didn't cost me nothing, he cost me a lot of money. It is going to be Madueke, coming in for 41.5 million, 7 goals, 5 assists. This is a player that I've decided to take a bit of a punt on. You can see here, his time at Chelsea was really, really poor. He actually got loaned out to Southampton and done virtually nothing. He then played 1 game for Chelsea before a move to Norwich, I imagine halfway through the season. He didn't do that well for Norwich. He comes to us and does improve somewhat, but we are still going to work with him because when you look at this player, he doesn't really have many weaknesses. Apart from the odd injury, he doesn't have many weaknesses because he is now older, that is to be said, but he has got the acceleration, he's got the pace, he's got the agility, he's got the dribbling, the finishing, the composure, the first touch, the technique, the flair. He has got everything you would want for a winger. So I look at him and think, do you know what? He's a player that has not really been playing well for the last 5-6 years. He needs a chance. And I think in this team, he's going to be given a lot of respect. The fans will love him. And genuinely, I think he can help us to a Premier League. Now, if we don't win a Premier League in 10 years, you can clearly slate me in the comments, but I think we can make this guy work. Lastly, for 56 million, we are going to sign a very expensive centre-back who is incredibly good. He's young, 21 years of age, already pre-built to be a very, very strong centre-back, and as I said, he did cost me 51 million, but he returns a great season with his first time actually a little stint at United, but his first couple of years in England. And I tell you what, I think this guy can win me a Premier League because although he's not the quickest when it comes to the acceleration, we can put him next to a quicker centre-back. For example, Bamba is quite quick if we do play them together, and we are going to lock him in for this season because it is quite the big investment. So a total spend of 93 million, one of them players being free. So we've got a backup winger, we've got a first-team winger in Madueke, and also we've got Zapata as a first-team centre-back. And we've also offloaded a little bit of the deadwood. So I do think it is an improvement. Are we going to improve on 4th place? Time's going to tell. Well, our first time in the Champions League didn't go horrifically, but also didn't go brilliantly. We are going to lose in the round of 16, which in hindsight isn't horrific because it's our first time in here. Give us a chance. But in terms of the league phase, we do not make it out automatically. We actually go, if we make sure we are on the right team, we are going to beat Valencia, Inter Milan, Strasbourg and Celtic. We draw against Shakhtar and also Marseille, but we lose against Dortmund and Manchester United, which put us in this round here, where we do beat Valencia 6-2 over 2 legs, but the first real test, playing a team somewhat in of our calibre, probably a bit better, Manchester United, they completely end us. And it has been a drop-off in the Premier League from top 4 to top 7. We are now in 7th place in the Conference League. That is a humbling, isn't it? From Champions League to Conference League in one season, after spending money as well. Now, Madueke enjoyed a great season. He was our 3rd best performer. Our goal scorer is still up there with 19 goals. So I'm not going to pin the blame on individuals. This is a team loss. And once again, this was quite a tough one to take because we are literally 1 point behind, or 2 points behind a team that finished in 4th. So this isn't really a punishment from playing bad, it's just a punishment from not picking up the little stuff because the league is so close. 1 win, we would have easily had top 4 if those teams didn't win that game. So little mistakes have paid the big price. And when we look at the rest of what happened, it is a really bad season. The Champions League, I won't judge. I'm not going to judge that. The FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, I can judge now. The Premier League, I can definitely judge. And it is a simple fact, we have let ourselves down in the year of 2030. And I imagine the money is going to represent that. We are going to have 36 million that we can't spend anyway. We can't even spend 32. We are going to have a budget of around about 27 million, not even that, 25 million to go and spend. Now, we are going to have several new contracts to renew, which costs money. So I think, realistically, we are going to have a team of, what? A budget to improve the team of about maybe 15 million? Probably tops 15, 16. which is quite worrying because we are getting older and older into this video now, and I still need to try and win a Premier League. Now, on paper, I look at this team and I'm like, cool, where'd you improve? And the centre-back's obviously the key one, and once again, the goalkeeper's tough, isn't it? Because I really like Trafford and I want him to work, but he still is going to be a championship goalkeeper and he's not really improving. So I think we might get a new goalkeeper. Ramsey's doing his thing. Mitchell's doing his thing. Zapata's doing his thing. The midfield, again, it depends where Bamba plays, because if you put Bamba at centre-back and then you look at our options in midfield, have we got enough? I don't think we have. So, I mean, I'm not being funny. Maybe another midfield player. I think our front four is actually quite sufficient. We've got a great left winger, a great right winger, a great AM, a great finisher as well. So we have got good options, but we are so far off being perfect. It's unbelievable. We've got so many more areas to improve. Limited budget, limited time. They're two things you don't want against you. Now, I've actually played a couple of seasons, and I'm going to be honest, the season that I'm about to show you, which obviously is the season before what we're up to right now, so that is going to be season 8. This was the transfer window for that. We had no money to sign any players, and we lost 3 players, and it resulted in some pretty big bad disasters happening. It was an awful season, and one that I wasn't going to show in the video out of embarrassment, but I've got to show you the journey. It was not good. We actually finished in 16th in this season. The season in season 8, which I don't want to talk about because I think we got disrespected big time from the board. Such a limited amount of money to spend, and it cost us big time. We were so close to the relegation zone, you could almost taste what would have happened. Now, the season that we just had, we're going to show in a bit of a different way, because you can see at the top, obviously, holders Burnley. We have actually won the Premier League in season 9. We have got the job done, which I will go and show you right now. So we are going to run through the signings and show you exactly what we've done. But after this disappointing season, that's why I want to show you all this all in one go, I really sat down and said to myself, Josh, you need to tweak the tactic. You need to do something here, because this is such a big drop. From 7th to 16th is genuinely horrendous, and you can't just blame the limited budgets. So we made some pretty big changes. We're going to run through it all, but we are going to be Premier League winners in season 9. So that is a big W. What else did we win? Well, nothing. We are knocked out in the quarterfinals against Chelsea and the 3rd round against Chelsea again. But what I will say is 9 points deducted from West Ham administration. Not good at all. The Premier League was remarkably close with Tottenham Hotspur, but we got the job done. And what I done to the tactic was simply this. So we locked in the likes of some of our new signings. We'll go through those very shortly. One of them being Kellyman up front, who actually didn't have a great season, to be honest. And we spent a fair bit of money. Maybe we let's run through the signings first. So we actually, you can see here the players that we lost. We actually spent 75 million on bringing in Kellyman from Wolves, 69 million pounds. He actually didn't really enjoy a great season. He looked ridiculously good when I brought him, and I'm hoping he can improve a fair bit. We are going to sign Dino Maric, who's going to be a new wonder kid goalkeeper, who again played a ton of games and actually kept 19 clean sheets, so a very good performance. And also Martin Vitic come in on the free as sort of a backup centre-back who ended up being first team and playing and helping to a Premier League title. So goes to show you don't always need a lot of money to go and get people. But you do kind of to pay the wages, and that season when we got 16 million, we can't pay for anyone's wages, so that was not nice. But them signings with this tactic really did help us out, and what we have done with this tactic is simply changed a few things. So in possession, we've upped the tempo a little bit. It seems to be in this game when you want to, really push the limits, try and win as much as you can, playing with that higher tempo is going to be your answer, which is quite sad, but it is the way that it is. We added overlap into the system. We actually triggered a counter press and a counter to really push the team, and also up to the defensive line. Now, this is because we've now got our players. The Scott Parker tactic is brilliant with the Burnley team, but we've now got my spark on the team, my players, and my players require different roles than what Scott Parker's does. So we have had to change the tactic quite a fair bit, and we are now in a place where we are a Premier League winning team, and we look together, we look as a team together, and we're a team that are now Premier League winners. We've got one more year to really try and cement ourselves, as a successful team. Now, for me, success would be winning the Premier League again, so back-to-back seasons, maybe a Champions League or a Champions League final at minimum, and really pushing the limits, because I think we've finally got what we need in Season 9. It's taken us almost a decade to get to this point, but we've now got a team on paper that I am very happy with, that I know can win me something, and that I'm confident with. And we have got a budget of 79, more than that, 102 million to take into the last season. So we can really push the limits now, push everyone, and hopefully come out and win some pretty big trophies to wrap up what has been one of the more harder rebuilds I think I've ever done. And I was not expecting it to be as hard as some other teams I've done, but this one has really tested me, because we have had highs, real lows, small budgets, big budgets. It's been a mixture. It's been very tough to really know what's coming up. So let's get in to the final and 10th season, see what we can do. Now, we have signed one man, and it was a man that I mentioned in Season 4. We are going to welcome in Profundi. Now, I've gone down a path of not tinkering with what is working. We've just won a Premier League. I don't want to add too many people in, so we've got one man. That is going to be Profundi, coming in for 97 million, and he just casually contributes 17 goals and 14 assists. So the guy has come in and really impressed, and is probably going to be the top goal scorer and assister for this club. So he has come in and completely hit the ground running. He was playing as an AM, not as a striker as well, which is another pretty big statement. And we've now got an Italian combo up front. So let's go and see, can we win back-to-back Premier Leagues with the Italian dream? First off is going to be the Champions League. We are just going to get past the round of 16 against Borussia Dortmund in 6-4 fashion. The quarterfinals were a little bit more one way, a 5-1 win over Valencia, a bit of an easier game, which I am not going to complain about. The semi-finals, a 4-2 win over Tottenham, and we go in against PSG for the biggest trophy of them. And right on the biggest stage of them all, inside of 48 seconds, PSG are going to go through with Emery into the middle, and it is going to be a 1-0 lead before a minute even strikes the clock. And here they go again. PSG, one of the best teams in Europe at the moment, remain that in this game as well, 10 years in, with a 2-0 lead from Arda Güler inside of 18 minutes. We then missed a penalty, just add a little bit of spice into it, and the only goal we could get was in the 90th minute as a consolation. Our one chance at the big trophy, we simply don't take. PSG, the final, another loss. This time against Liverpool in the Community Shield. That is now going to be 2 attempts to win it and 2 failures. Carabao Cup was really poor. I'm talking 4th round exit poor. A 3-1 defeat to Spurs. The FA Cup final, this time against Chelsea, and again it's going to be a cup final that we are going to go 1-0 down in. A great ball through there from Caicedo, and it is a great finish, and we find ourselves again on the back foot. And luckily for us, the previous man from Chelsea originally, in Madueke, is going to get us back into this game in the last kick of the game. As you can see right here, we are going to go all the way to penalties. Please do not lose another final. The first man that steps up is going to be Xavi Simons, and it is going to be an awful penalty, or really, actually, a good save. Doyle is going to step up. Is he going to finish? He isn't as well. That is the same position. 2 misses in 2 penalties. They're going to step up right now. Another penalty. That is a better strike. A great penalty there. Madueke, the former Chelsea man, steps and scores. Tied up at 1-1. We're then going to have Musa step up from the spot. Another great save there. Our goalkeeper really earning his money today. Morgan Gibbs-White brought in for a big fee and a big finish. That is finally going to be a good situation for us. Esteval steps and misses, and Chelsea are not looking good. Cup 1. And we also win the Premier League by 1 point. So we have done what I classed as would be putting us as a top team in England. We have won the Premier League back-to-back, which is really strong. If you look back at how bad things got at a certain point in this video, Profundi going to be in there with the second most amount of assists. So we sign off the last season as Premier League winners, Champions League finalists, and FA Cup winners. Now, could this have gone better? Yeah, it could have done. Am I going to show you this, am I going to redo this so you don't get to see the real version? No. Whatever happens, happens. And at the end of the day, we have improved Burnley as a club. We have added several trophies back into them. The reputation has gone up quite a fair bit. The up arrow is all the way up, which is good to see. We have won 2 Premier Leagues, a couple of English Cups, which is really, really good to see. And overall, I am happy with the team. We have now got a system where Profundi does play up front, so that's always interesting. He can play up front, don't get me wrong, where we have got Profundi, Udozi, Gibbs-White, Madueke, Gray, Bamba, Zapata, Vitic, Ramsey, Mitchell and Marek in goal. Now, in terms of where you can take this rebuild, the world is pretty much your oyster, because you have got a budget of 79 million. Actually, you've got a budget of 132, more than what I had. So if you do want to carry on this rebuild file, your challenge is to win the Champions League in the next 2 seasons. If you want to take it on, you can get the rebuild file from the Patreon and also this tactic, but you are left with a very, very good team. If you want my advice, you don't have to take that. I would invest in the wing-backs, because that is probably the area where we need better backups. If you look at the team, look at the backup options, we actually have built a pretty decent squad, but we do need better rotation in certain areas. But with 132 million and your debts and loans pretty under control, you can go and spend a bit more money. So, I mean, looking at this, I'm going to take this. I'm somewhat happy with it. I think there are areas which we could have done better in. For example, a couple of these cups. It would have been nice to win a Champions League. I mean, we got to the final once out of 10 years. Usually we do a lot better than that. The Premier League was so up and down, wasn't it? I mean, really, really up and down. We're going to do a little recap on that all the way from season 1, where obviously we finished 14th, then 15th. Then this is where I thought we were really, really cooking. 10th place, 6th place, 4th place, 7th place, then we go down to 16th place, then we win it, and then we win it again. So it is so up and down, but that is now 2 years of winning it back to back. So I do think we are now really on track to get the job done. The FA Cup's always nice to win. We won that, 2 times? Pretty decent. Did we win the Carabao Cup? We didn't. We had a chance to against Everton and lost. So again, another chance squandered there. And we could have won the Community Shield, but we didn't do that either. So a lot of ifs, maybes, should have dones, but didn't get it done in the end of the day. So 10 years at Burnley. Did I have fun? A little bit. I mean, I'll be honest, it was pretty challenging. And I must admit, I do like to be operating with a bit bigger budgets, but it is what it is. And we're going to move on. So who's up next? Let me know in the comments, because obviously the next rebuild is going to be taking Rennes to a UCL final and hopefully winning it. Sorry, not winging it. And I need your suggestions. So let me know in the comments what you want to see next. What team do you want to see managed by me for 10 years? Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.